Alright guys, so today's video is definitely going to be a little more laid back than most of my other videos. We're not going to have as many jump cuts or edits and B-roll footage and stuff like that because I want this video to feel like I'm talking to you specifically, like as if you were in the room with me. I think as a content creator or somebody that talks about tech, I think it's important that my audience knows how I approach the products that I talk about and the companies that I choose to work with. I think you guys are trusting me and trusting the people that you watch, where I think that content creators should be a little more transparent on how the whole process works, or at least how they approach things. So to start with, the first thing that I recommend above all is to make sure that you watch several different creators. Don't just rely on one specifically, especially when it comes to audio, because I think audio is definitely subjective. Me and another creator are going to look at the same product completely differently because our taste in sound signature or even music is going to be different. And so when I watch people like El Jefe, which I think our content is pretty similar, we talk generally about the same type of products, and I think our taste in sound signature is fairly close. So I know what I'm getting when I'm watching one of his videos, but when I'm watching creators like DMS and Zeos who are a little more specific in the details and how they talk about the audio, I do know that they can look at chart readings and frequency readings and just tell you the sound signature based off that alone. So they tend to get a little more detailed, which I absolutely love watching their content, even though all of our styles are completely different, which is one of those things that I do want to talk about. I think it's important, especially when it comes to audio, that we all kind of respect what each person does. I know as far as like the audiophile community, they may not take my channel seriously because I'm not looking at charts and I'm not trying to compare the frequency response from one headphone to the other based off looking at a bunch of different lines. This is just not my style. But I don't feel like that's my audience either. I feel like I'm talking to my audience as though they were just somebody like a normal consumer looking for an audio product, and I want it to make sense when I'm talking to them. Now, I'm not trying to dumb it down in any way. I'm just talking about it as in if we bumped into each other in public and I wanted to tell you about a product, how would I just talk about it? I'm not going to just start breaking out charts and graphs and trying to show you those type of things because that doesn't fit my style, and I really just don't feel like it fits my audience. And so that's one of the big things, is know the different type of creators that you're watching. I think that's really important, but I also think it's important that you watch multiple ones so that you really have a grasp on the product you're thinking about purchasing. And speaking of products, I do want to start with the fact that every day I start my day by looking at emails, which are usually just a long list of products from different companies. Now, a lot of stuff doesn't even apply to the channel. Like, it could be a blender or it could be a robot vacuum. But there are times where I get emails from just reputable, huge companies wanting me to check out their new product. Now, most of the time, that's an immediate yes. There's not much thought that has to go into that because I know you guys as consumers are going to be interested because it's going to be a product you already know about or at least want to know about. Now, when I get emails from companies that you probably haven't heard of, and it's going to be products that you guys probably aren't even searching out, I approach those a little bit differently because those companies ultimately want their product to be put in front of my audience that I've built up over all of these years. Now, my audience is based more so around audio and more specifically built around true wireless earbuds. So if it's a company wanting me to talk about their product, I usually charge a placement fee. And all that placement fee does is show me that the company is investing in their product and wanting it to be talked about. But it's also my way of actually getting paid for the work that I'm doing. All of the time that goes into testing the product, doing all the notes and the research and the thumbnail and the editing, the shooting, the recording, all the things that go into a video, you really don't get paid for. This is not an hourly type job. So placement fees just kind of make you feel better that you're getting paid for the work you're doing, because I don't see myself as like QVC or a company that's doing infomercials. I'm not trying to push or sell a product to you. If you don't buy a product, I don't care. I have no tie-ins or investments in any companies, and I always want to keep it that way. This channel is completely independent. It is me. It's my opinion. And so that's why it's always been important that, one, all the trust that I've gained all over the years, I don't just blow it because some company wants to pay a certain amount of money for me to talk positively about their product, or they want me to sign a contract saying that they can view the video and suggest changes and things like that. That's just not how I work, and I never will approve those type of things. It's not important to me that I wow this company or, gain their trust that I'm going to positively talk about their product, because in the end, that part doesn't matter, because you guys subscribe, you guys continue to watch every day, and when you're thinking about buying a product, you click on the links. All of that stuff helps. And at the end of the day, that's what I've built this channel on. So I don't want to throw that away because some company's dangling some big carrot right there in front of me. Now, another thing that I do want to point out about working with some of these smaller companies, I do feel like as a content creator or reviewer, that it is just as much my responsibility to do some research on the company to make sure that they're not going to screw over people, to make sure that they actually ship the products that people are purchasing, and that they actually do a decent job of taking care of the customers. Because if somebody buys a product and they just have an awful experience or they never get the product, in the end, they really blame the person that they're watching. They feel like you're responsible for the reason they didn't get their product. And although I don't feel that way, I do feel like people that are thinking about buying something also need to do the research from websites like trustpilot.com to see if the company's reputable in general. Because all of these companies and all of these people that we work with, there are going to be things that slip through the cracks. It may be an incredible product, but it may be something that the company sent to you that they have no intentions of sending to people that are actually going to purchase these. It's just ways of making money. So I've always been very, very careful about this. And I've also noticed that content creators like Flossie Carter has also been careful. He's had one company that he worked with that never sent out the things to a lot of the customers.
So in order to solve that problem, from now on, anytime I do these kind of videos, I'm buying the product myself anonymously. So this way the company doesn't know it's me reviewing them. What you see is what you get. So if you order these are the exact ones that you're gonna get.
I try to keep all my shit on the up and up, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got time to be going to jail, I ain't trying to do no bids and all that. So I try to keep all my shit on the up and up.
That's why I trust people like him, and that's why I think it's always important to be transparent. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is ultimately how I'm deciding to talk about the products and how I'm gonna choose the products that I talk about going forward. Because yes, I do think it's important that you give the audience what they want. I mean, you're going to talk about products that people are going to be interested in and the products that you think your audience is going to be interested in. But in the end, you also need to be happy with what you're putting out and the products you're talking about. Because it's really hard to work on a video and put in all the work on a product that you may not be interested in, or a product that's just bad. And so most of the time those products I'll send back to the company, or I just won't talk about in general. Now, there are times if I feel like it's a new product that's just getting rave reviews and there's so much hype around, if I feel like there's some things that people are missing, or if I feel like there are some issues or sound things that I don't like that other people should hear about, I will do videos on those. I've done them with Bose, I've did them with the Jabra Elite 75Ts, but I also think it's important to circle back. If the company makes improvements and they fix a product based off, some of the things that you talk about, it's important to go back and do another video to, one, talk about the fact that that company even listened. That's why I did the video on the Razer Hammerhead True Wireless Pros, because I think they absolutely had an incredible product, but there were a few issues that I had initially. And so they reached out to me to say that they fixed some of those issues as far as adding controls. And, if a company is willing to just continue to improve a product, then as a tech reviewer or somebody that talks about tech, I think it's important that you let the audience know what those companies are doing and the way that these products are improving. I mean, in some cases, you are these people's outlet to give them information. So for other reviewers and tech creators, definitely kind of understand your responsibility and the way that people look at you. because a lot of people are investing money that they may not have a lot of, or investing time. These people are choosing to watch your videos on a daily basis, or once a week or whatever. But for some reason, they're coming back to you. And I think it's important that, one, you let them know why they're coming back to you, but also let them know how you approach things, so they kind of know what they're getting into. I watch several different creators, and sometimes at the end of the video, I wonder if they got pushed to talk about it. Sometimes I wonder if a company got to go through a checklist to make sure that everything checked the box the way that creator did their video. And so that's why I've always approached mine in a way where I do it my way. I don't like anybody else having control, and I don't like anybody else thinking they have the ability to kind of push me around. So that's my approach to this channel. I know this is kind of like rambling on, but I think this type of video is important, and I think you guys should know how this channel operates. But thank you for sticking through this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.